Hello, 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 hello. Alrighty then, my people. It is another glorious, glorious Wednesday out here. And I thank you all for tuning in. Grab your crumpets, baby, because it is time to dish tea, and you are dishing tea with Big Meats. Thank you all for coming in, and thank you all for your love and your support. If you're tuning in right now and wish to chime in, which I hope that you do, I want you to call 347-205-9183. Once again, 347-205-9183 to join in on the conversation, because today, my darling, today is Wacky, Wild, and Wonderful Wednesday. Don't push the red one. That's right. We're going to take a number of selected topics today and then let you chime in on some of your own and give you, the viewer, the listener, a chance to let your voices be heard, okay? Hello to all of my tea sippers over there in the tea room. I encourage you all to dish tea responsibly over there. It's okay to disagree, just don't be disagreeable. No need to be throwing things at your computer screens or whatever. Just be sure to know that everybody has an opinion. Hey, LSB, see that you made it. Hello over there in the tea room, hey, baby. So we're going to get started, and we're going to move forward. I'm tongue-tied a little bit because I'm just excited about everything that I want to cover with you guys today, and I'm hoping to get some real good debate going, okay? So here's my disclaimer. The show is for mature audiences, and the language and subject matters are not appropriate for children or anyone who is not mature to handle the subject matters. Your listening discretion is advised. Your listening discretion is advised. Now, from time to time, honey, I'm going to be trying to curb my language. I know I have a potty mouth, but I gave a promise to old Amy, honey, when she called in last week I was going to curb my language. But I didn't promise. I just told her I was going to do my best. So I'm going to work on that, okay? But y'all know how I am, honey. Something hits me, honey, it's going to fling out. And, well, yeah. Thank you thank you to all of my sponsors, those of you who are supporting Dishing Tea in your way, in one way, style, shape, style, fashion, form, or another. I do appreciate you for coming out. Trade Day Management and PR firm. At Trade Day, enjoy a touch of Southern hospitality with a universal appeal. For your public relations and entertainment management needs, contact Tavion Davenport at 678-523-3088, 678-523-3088, or email her at tradedaypr@gmail.com. That's Tradeday, TREADAY, PR@gmail.com. Also, thank you goes out to Pharaoh's Treasure Box. Fine art, unique jewelry, and sensational 3D silk floral arrangements, creations by Taps. For all of your decorative needs, contact Pharaoh's Treasure Box at 248-688-5178 or 5179, 248-688-5178 or 5179, or email at pharaohstreasurebox@comcast.net, pharaohstreasurebox@comcast.net. Parisian Wine Productions, music to lighten your spirits and lift your soul, specializing in gospel and inspirational house dance music. For all of your musical production needs, contact Paris Hairston. He's the CEO at Paris42268@yahoo.com. Once again, Paris42268@yahoo.com. Thank you, Paris. Also, C-Train Productions. You're aboard the right train for all of your entertainment needs with C-Train Productions. Omar Casserly, CEO and founder. For all of your casting, producing, and production needs, contact Omar at www.ctrainproductions.com. Once again, www.ctrainproductions.com. Life Fellowship of Christ Ministries, live in freedom everywhere, LIFE, life. Reverend James Coleman is the leader and founder of the Ecumenical Social Justice Ministry, brought forth to free the oppressed and introducing a fresh approach to the Christ consciousness. Contact Reverend Coleman at mustardcole@yahoo.com. Once again, mustardcole@yahoo.com. Services are held bi-weekly at the Woodbridge Estates Clubhouse, 4106 Supremes Drive, Detroit, Michigan, 48201. Services start at 12 noon. For more information, contact 313-833-9278, 313-833-9278. Thank you so much to all of my sponsors. For those of you who wish to become one of my sponsors or seek you for advertisement purposes, contact me, dishingteawithbigmeech@gmail.com, dishingteawithbigmeech@gmail.com. Tea is spelled T-E-A, just like the pouring tea. Okay? So now that we have that business out of the way, oh, goodness. I have heard a number of things this week, and I've taken a few topics that I want to bring to your consciousness, and I want you guys to expound upon, please, because I don't want to be the only one that have an opinion here, okay? The first topic I touched on last week, Thursday, when we were interviewing Mr. James Avery, a.k.a. Uncle Phil from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And if you guys have watched television, you've seen his commercial where he's the professor and goes on and with this beautiful monologue that describes how the system has failed. And I love that monologue so much to where I have to record the commercial because I'm going to do that somewhere. Okay. But in all of that, I have this thing with the national educational system. The national educational system is really, really, really in an uproar. And I'm having a real hard time with it because, you know, for those of you who understand what's going on in popular culture, we have so many schools closing. We have so many teachers being laid off. We have so many students dropping out of school. We have so many kids who cannot pass the basic literacy composition tests and things of that nature. And I am appalled by it. For us to be the superpower of the world, we're not even number one in education. At one point, when Oprah and Bill Gates did the educational study, at that time, we were number 23 in the world. 23 in the world, okay, with our education. And we're not even building or giving our kids the tools that they need to go out to find decent jobs and to prove themselves worthy of earning a wonderful living. And I have gotten on the soapbox about this because in Detroit, and I said this before, but in Detroit, there's this thing now where there's this new thing called the Termination Incentive Plan. And this was just passed by the teachers' union. And according to this is supposedly an interest-free loan of some sort that the teachers are paying into, okay? Now, supposedly, every teacher is supposed to pay $10,000 into this particular system, okay? They are going to deduct $250 every paycheck from the teachers until they reach $10,000. Now, supposedly, when they retire or whatever, they're supposed to be getting this money back. So basically, they are paying for their own retirement, okay? The companies are not giving them any money, you know, like a 401k where they're matching funds or this, that, and the other. Now, this was forced upon them because it was either you do this or you get fired, okay? Basically, I'm paraphrasing all of this because as I'm reading articles on it or whatever, this is what it sounds like to me. Robert Bobb, who was the emergency financial manager there in Detroit over the school system, has implemented this, and it has gotten started. Now, the teachers don't get paid any money as it is, okay? So my question to you is, do you believe in our national educational system? Okay, if you believe in it, what do you feel needs to be done in order for us to have a decent educational system for our children? What do you feel needs to be done to where we have a decent educational system that would allow the teachers to teach? What do you think needs to be done to where we have a national educational system that is decent enough, or excel decency that is at its best, that is paramount in educating our students? What can we do to achieve ultimate, monumental change in our educational system? Call me at 347-205-9183 and let your voice be heard, because I need to hear this. Too many times we bitch, moan, and complain about a lot of things, and we never come up with solutions. I want to hear what you think can be done. I know for one, I wish that some of this frivolous money that we're spending elsewhere, and I'm going to say it, I don't like the money being spent on the war. I don't like the fact that, all of our technology and stuff is going towards building better warfare and better missiles and stuff. And we can't even get the kids to understand how to spell the word war or spell the word bomb, but yet you want to take our babies and put a gun in their hand and turn them into these killing machines, all in the sake of what? What? Okay, I don't like that. Okay, I do not, I just don't care for that. I don't care for them spending money to go up into the heavens, into outer space, as frequently as they do. I personally feel every time they send a rocket up, that's when we have natural catastrophes down here. If you pay attention to everything that has gone on, go back and research the timeline when a rocket went up and look at the devastation that has happened down here. I bet you'll find a correlation, because I've said that many, many years ago. Okay? So that's the first topic. The second topic that I want you to consider, I want to talk about the penal system. Now, many of you may think that I may be coming out of a box on this one, and that's fine. You're entitled to think that, because actually, I just might be. Here's the thing, and I was watching a documentary series on MSNBC a few nights ago, and when I was listening to this, it floored me. Do you think that this is all a setup? And here's what I mean. Now, we all understand and really know that the prison system is what it is, okay? I'm not going to take away from the violent crimes and those who feel they, if you've done something, you got to pay, do the time. Honey. If you did the crime, you got to do the time. But here's the thing. Now, we all get caught up in what prison life is, okay, from, the prison sex, from the rehabilitation, from the luxuries and things that we've seen glamorized in television and this, that, and the other. Now, according to this documentary, and I'm going here, the documentary was focused on the sexual activities of the inmates. And they were saying, and this was in the Alabama state prisons, and I'm sure this is like that across the country. It was contraband for anyone to receive, nude photos of their girlfriends and things that are on the outside. They couldn't do that. Also, they were not allowed, if they decided to masturbate, jack off, whatever, that there was against the rules, and they could be put in the holding cell for indecent exposure. Also, quite naturally, they have made all kinds of deterrents to disengage any kind of same-sex, MSM relations, men who have sex with men relations or sex between men. Okay, they discourage that at all points. Of course, if you get caught with this, that, and the other, that is considered to be jail time. Added jail time, you go into the hole, and you get, there's a penalty for it. Now, my question is this. Are we adequately rehabilitating these folks, and what do they think is going to happen when you have a lot of men who are sexually frustrated and all the testosterone that's built up. Because as we all know, those of us who are male, when we don't have that sexual release, it builds tension. Y'all see it on football. They tell you that for those of you who play sports out there, what does the coach say before you have any big game? You're not supposed to have sex because they want that aggression. They want all of that to be on the field. So when you hit hard. Now, in the prison systems, for all of that to go on, are we setting up the prisoners to kill one another? Are we setting them up for all kinds of mental anguish and heartbreak? What are we setting them up for? Are we absolutely seriously thinking about rehabilitating them to get them back on the outside to come back into civilized population? Or are we just saying that we need to strip them all of their basic fundamental rights as human beings? And if we're saying that, what about those who are never coming out on the outside? What about those who are lifers? They're going to be there till they die. So you're telling them they can't jack off, they can't have sex, they can't have no kind of interaction because this is their punishment. Really? Do we see that as fair? Do we see that as right? Do we see that as, okay, it is what it is because, well, hell, didn't nobody tell you to go out there and kill and rape and this, that, and the other. So what are your thoughts on that? And I want you to hear what I'm saying. I'm not want you to go into debating whether or not, I don't want to have a gay debate, about prison sex and survival. It's called survival sex. For those who are heterosexual and end up in those kinds of situations, they call it survival sex because, men it's that release, like I said, and the compassion and the wanting to be close with someone, and those kinds of bonds form. Now, it's under duress or whatever. That's why it's called survival sex. But I'm not here to debate the whole gay, straight thing. I'm debating the actions behind it. Is the prison system fair for that? Is that a part of the punishment? What are your thoughts? 347-205-9183. Okay? That there is point number 2. Now, here's another point. Now, here comes the gay debate. I was at work, and my coworker, bless his heart, we were talking about actors, and I forgot how we got on this particular subject, but anyway, we were discussing Ving Rhames and how masculine he is. And my coworker said, yeah, he's a very good actor, and he played the hell out that damn sissy, didn't he? In fact, he played it too good. I don't know. He said he's straight, but he played that part too good. I don't know. I think he might be on the down low, for real. And I said, really? I said, baby, he's an actor. Okay, this was a role. He is an actor. Yeah, I understand acting, but damn, sometimes they just act like too good, and it just make you wonder. I said, if he made you wonder, then he did his job. Okay, as an actor. If you did not walk away from there saying to him, he could have had some gay tendencies, and I hate that term, then what's what? So then I got to thinking, do we sit up there and perpetuate a lot of these stereotypes onto our actors and things, and is that a societal message? Are we so what's the word I'm looking for? Fascinated. Are we so fascinated with gay culture or LGBT culture that anytime we see somebody who acts out of the box, or that we can put our finger on to say that's definitely gay or that's supposedly gay, that we jump on it instantly and just label these folks like that? Can true friendships actually be forged between gays and straights? And I say that because of this. I want you to think about this, and I'm going to read a blog that I wrote called The Gay Step in Fletcher in just a second. But here's something I want you to consider. Whenever we are around straight people, and I'm talking we as in gays, isn't awfully ironic that folks tend to placate to us. You know what I'm saying? They want to sit up there and they feed into all of the stereotypes. You know, for those of you who are a little feminine or whatever, or not necessarily feminine, but those of you who are out, haven't you noticed that most of the time, and a lot of time it's done out of love, but when you walk up on somebody and they want to say hello, they give you this grand old finger snap, 3-snap, and Z formation hello. Hello, hey girl, hey Miss Thing, hey diva, what's up, honey? You know, it's always this big grand old introduction for nothing, just to say hello, as if to say this is something that you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Now, do you think that straights and gays can truly be friends? Because, look at it. When women are with their gay friends, everything is cool, right? Everything is cool. Until the gay men end up liking and or dating someone that the straight woman feels should not be gay in the first place. If the straight woman and the gay man have the same taste in men and he scores before she doesn't that cause a problem? Because then all of a sudden now, that don't make no damn sense. That's just a waste of dick right there. That don't make no motherfucking sense. You know, she gets an attitude, she gets evil, she gets upset, she does not become encouraging, she does not encourage the relationship at all, she just becomes an evil bitch. Okay? With straight men, whenever you're around straight men, as long as the locker room talk is on male-female relationships, everything is cool. They could come to you for advice, you know, considering that, you know, you getting good with all the girls, or especially because I'm feminine, a little feminine. You know, I'm not the most masculine of masculine. However, at one point in time, I was a real flame, if you can. Never mind. I was a real flame. And, you know, all the girls that the guys wanted to talk to, I was friends with. So they would use me, you know, to either make a play or to send notes or this, that, and the other. So as long as it was like that and they was getting the pussy, everything was fine. But the second, if I could just take 2 seconds to interject on the locker room conversation and talk about my date or, oh, well, yes, you know, and use the same terminology that they use. Man, I had this piece of ass, and oh, my God. And all of a sudden, everything just shuts down. It just shuts the fuck down. And everybody, you know, oh, no, we don't want to hear about that old gay shit and this, that, and that. I didn't say nothing about gay. I just said I had a piece of ass. You don't know if it was straight, if it was a woman or not. I just said I had a piece of ass. And the conversation becomes lax. The conversation becomes, you know, men get uncomfortable. Do you think that true friendships between straights and gays actually exist, or is it just a big old game? Are we using one another for the simple sake of saying, I can get something from them or whatever the case may be? What are your thoughts on that? You know, I'm finding that very interesting. Very interesting. I think the true friendships can come from it. But I do believe, as with all friendships, you have to weed them out. You know, you have to go through and take it on an individual basis, because a lot of folks are coming in with ulterior motives. You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on that? Chime on in, 347-205-9183. And I got someone chiming in. All right, we're going to go to 989-790. 989-790. I think I know who this is. Hello, caller. You're dishing tea with Big Meech. Hey, darling. Hello.
Hey. Well, you know.
That's my sister. Hey, boo.
Look,
What's up?
I was outside because we had this big old snowstorm, so I didn't hear the beginning, but I heard the last couple questions. Now, the one with Ving Rames, honey, first of all, that's just ignorant. But I wanted to take it here because a lot of people may not know. Big Beach is my best friend, honey. And she is from Detroit. And she did this play years ago called Detroit Stories. Now, I'm his best friend, and I know he one of the queeniest men I know. And the part he played was a very hardcore masculine man. Okay, I still can't believe he played that role, first of all, that well, because I was like, who is this bitch? Okay.
Right.
You did it very well. You convinced me, and I know you. So if this Queenie man could do that, why don't you think a very hardcore masculine man could play Queen? We all come from male and female, so we have both parts within us. We could draw off of that to be that person. That don't make that person more straight because they're playing a hard role or more gay because they're playing a feminine role. That's just a part of the person they are that they drew from. Mm-hmm. And that's all that is. Now, as far as the one with straight people and gay people being friends, I truly believe that they can. I have a few friends here that are straight men that have women or wives, and we could talk on the sexual level, and it don't bother them at all. It depends on who you meet and what they really if they really comfortable with who they are. So I think it's all the comfort level in your own person. Then, so, just in general. Because in general, especially in the African-American community, they think anything gay is going to make them gay. But if you come to your own skin, and that's the truth, though.
Wait a minute, not gay through osmosis, honey.
Right. Okay. It's not going to rub off just like McCullough, honey. It's staying on me. It's not going to rub off. You can't catch it. It's not a disease. Okay. So, but a lot of people think just because I'm around this person, I'm going to be gay. Honey, no, you're not. Because I ain't been straight all my life, and I've been around straights most of my life. I came from two straights. Two straights don't make a straight. Two straights can make a gay or a straight. Okay.
How about it? Okay.
Yeah. So that's what that is.
Would you? Okay. See, I bring these questions up often because a lot of people, I don't know. I think that we get into these whole big old misconceptions, and again, going back to feeding into stereotypes. I think that we operate a lot of times out of fear. Well, that's always the basis of everything. But then on top of it, I think that a lot of us are just don't want to come out of their comfort zone to find out who's what, who's doing what.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's fear.
And get to know people. And, for over the years, I've had folks, of course, judge me from a distance. And then once they got to know me, then it became a whole different ball game. You know what I'm saying? It had become, oh, wow, he's really cool. Oh, wow, I didn't know, that this and another.
Similar experience, but different situation with me, I ain't never been the most feminine person, but I don't think I'm the most masculine, but a lot of people seem to think, I'm just the manliest man. But, I have an easier time hooking up with the heterosexuals because of how I look and how I carry myself. But then when they find out, it was like, really, you gay? I didn't know gay people was like this. You know what I'm saying? So that's a different situation. It's harder for the queenier people, the gay, the flamier ones, to hook up with these heterosexual people because they're afraid that, this is going to rub off. But I just walk in the room, they just automatically assume I'm one of the boys. And then I come out to them, and they're like, really? So then I think maybe that's what it is. It's more accepted when you butch and you can kind of blend in.
But wait a minute, though, because, see, here's the thing. Because even now, you've been there where I've had my butchiest moments, and as long as I don't say nothing.
Right. You can't move.
Because I talk with my hands. Right. Well, you can't move much.
Right.
As long as I'm sitting down, I got my hair cut or whatever. I'm in all. Well, y'all don't know that at one point in time I used to dress very androgynously, but as long as I'm in all boy clothes and I'm cool, I'm good.
Right.
The second I open my mouth, then I'm busted.
Right.
Quote unquote. But tell this from your particular experience, that whole flip side of that coin, because it's not that a lot of folks don't want to be around the flamier children. It's just that when you blend in, they can't put a finger on it anymore. And
right.
I've watched them around you because then they feel like they don't know what to do. If everybody's blending in, they don't know what the hell to do. So then they become all flustered. They get to dropping shit and spilling drinks because in their mind, when you done came out to them and said, no, I don't play on the same team that you do. Then it's like, no, you the motherfucking law. I've watched you go down the street. Oh, you just saying that just to say you don't want to date me. I would rather you say that you don't like me than for you to come up with a lie.
Exactly, which is so funny to me. Okay, I know who I am, and I just told you. So why you trying to tell me I'm not? Okay, I live with myself every day. But it's just funny because they can't figure it out, so they don't believe you. Okay,
right.
I'm not going to lie about that. Why would anybody say that? Just to throw you off, honey. That's not what I'm trying to do. This is who I am. I'm just comfortable in my skin, and I'm, being me. What's really funny is for me, even when I do get dressed like a little more androgynous, because, I like to shine and glitter. So they tell me straight up, that's not even feminine on you. I don't see nothing feminine about that.
Right.
That's really strange to me because I'm looking in the mirror thinking I'm being the biggest queen ever. And it's like, oh, that look nice. Where you get that from? The men. And that's something that most straight men wouldn't even wear. But I wear it. They want it.
Right.
Okay. So
exactly.
That's like one of the strangest things to me. Now, you put it on, they be like, look at that queen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't get that. It's
right. Well, the other questions that you missed.
Okay.
I asked about the prison system.
Okay.
And I was asking, do you think that the prison system sets itself up to create killers and things? And I say that because as I was watching the documentary, they were saying that, and it was more so based on the sexual activity, this particular documentary. And they were saying, that when the folks get the letters coming in, they can't get nude photos from their girlfriends. They can't, if they are caught, jacking off or masturbating or whatever, they get time in the hole because that's considered indecent exposure.
Wow.
Of course, sex between men is forbidden, and that's always looked upon harshly. So, as a man, and like I said earlier, that's the first thing that we're taught, particularly if you're in sports or whatever. And in front of the big game, you are not to have sex before that big game because they want all that testosterone to feed so that when you're out there on the field, you are more aggressive. So if they are banning and not preparing or protecting the folks in there, because we know rape goes on, we know this goes on. There's a lot of HIV infection in the prisons now.
Right.
They're not doing anything to protect it. So if it's all penalized, all of it is penalized, do you think that this is part of the system for them to eradicate and annihilate one another? Because sexual frustration and tension brings about aggression.
Right. Well, this is something we've been talking about, not exactly like this, but similar. Me and Tim have discussed them knowing that the sexual activity is taking place in the prisons, and sometimes even with the guards,
Right.
them not allowing them to take condoms into the prison system to keep down the HIV infection. Lots of people go in with a clean bill of health, and they come out with HIV. So where the heck do you think they're getting it from? Another thing which is really interesting to me about that is they don't test these people before they go in, but when they come out, they do, really? That's kind of weird. So you don't know if they had it when they went in or not. But when they come out, now they have it, so now you got to refer them to somebody.
Okay, right.
So if you testing them for when they come out, you know that this is going on. And you know it's not going to stop because it's been going on as far as they've had prisons. You know, as long as they've had it. So this is something that needs to be discussed. It needs to be pushed, and I think the government needs to get involved because men are dying that are going in for a month, a year, 2 years, and they get now they coming out because they got HIV because somebody raped them. Yeah, I think they're setting them up for rape, not necessarily for murder, but for rape.
Well, what about those? Because here now, those were those who were able to come out. Okay, but what about those who are set up there that's not coming out on the outside? They're there for life. So are they supposed to just have everything stripped from them? You know, it's illegal for everything now?
I think that's
wrong. Or have we become that kind of society to where we just don't care about it anymore?
This is what they give them so many other privileges in prison that have nothing to do with nothing. And this is a natural human function, so they should be allowed to do what is natural. Even if a lot of those men don't want to have sex with men, they just want to get off. So you tell me I can't even get my own self off? Really?
Right, without some kind of penalty. Exactly. Right.
So, you know, this needs to be reevaluated and discussed. I'm glad you brought it up, and hopefully other people will hear this and they'll start the banter because I think that's wrong. This, especially for those who can't get out. This is my home, okay? This is my home. You let me set up things in this cell or whatever to make it a little more homey. Then how come I can't do what I would do at home? I can't go out. You not let me out of here. This is my punishment forever. So at least let me be comfortable here. You know what I'm saying? No, I think that's very wrong because you can't take everything away from a person. You might as well just kill them.
You know, for me, that's just that would be equivalent for telling somebody you can't take a dump.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when the time comes for that to happen, it's going to happen. And I'm not talking about as far as having sex. I'm talking about more so the masturbation part of it. Because I can understand, I don't agree, but I understand the whole idea of wanting to ban the whole sex with two men thing in the prison system. I can actually understand why they say that. Don't. You know I'm strange, and I can actually see their
understand, but okay.
I can see their reasoning behind it, and it's all biblically based. Okay, when you're dealing with laws and stuff that's all biblically based, I understand where they're coming from. I don't agree with it, but I understand where they're coming from, especially because they know a lot of the rapes do happen. Okay, so I understand where they are. I just don't agree with it because there are gay criminals up in there. Okay, the hell, you know it. You done section them off and have a whole gay side of the fucking prison.
So now you got all these gay people together with all these hormones raging. Do you know they like each other because they're into same-sex love? And you telling them, no, this is off limits. That's kind of stupid.
It's stupid, and then... Then, you know, everybody has an imagination. Child, come on, you know, us on the outside, the whole idea of prison sex has become a fantasy, not just to gay men, but to people, period. People fantasize about the hard, masculine prison man. You know, hello.
Movies about it, okay? That's the hottest selling videos, the prison sex.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. And I used to work in the porn, so you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know, so now here's the thing. Now let's stay on the prisoners because I want to go here. Do you What is your what? Now I'm not gonna say do you agree or not because I know you don't agree,
Okay.
but I want to hear. I want to hear you expound on the idea that the folks that paid their dues to society, they did their time.
Right.
They come out to go back into society. All right?
Okay.
Now, of course, now that they're on the outside, they have no rights still. A prisoner can't vote. Well, they can't vote right away. There's some kind of repeal that they have on that now, but after so long, I think you have to have been out or off probation for like 6 years before you're able to get your voting privileges again.
Right.
But they just got out, so you can't vote.
Right.
Your prison record is not expunged and saying that time served or whatever. You're still down as a convicted felon.
Exactly.
So going back into mainstream society to get a job, companies are not going to hire you. Why?
Exactly.
You're a convicted felon. You've been up in there. You got a skill in the trade. Educated yourself. Got your degree and whatever, and have made some kind of productive person out of yourself. But yet when it's time, they say time served, your crime, you have paid the debt to society. But yet society would not let this person become acclimated back in successfully.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, this subject kind of came up at work. A young lady that used to work there, she don't anymore. Her husband went to jail because of child support. Well, that's a felony, which I didn't know. Okay. Well, he went because he didn't have a job and he couldn't pay the child support. Okay. So he got a job in our facility. And he worked out, and they said he was one of the best students they had there. I mean, really good at it. All the guests loved him. They liked him to take care of him. They was happy when he was there. He did a good job. He was gentle. He was friendly. They found out 6 months after he got there that he had this felony on his record, and they had to release him. They didn't want to. They wanted to keep him because he was one of the best ones they had, but because of the law and because of the nursing field, they could not keep him. So this is what I'm saying. I got a felony because I can't pay. I can't pay because I can't get a job.
Get a job because I got a felony.
Right. It's stupid. What kind of sense does that make? So you telling me I'm going to go back to jail because I can't get a job to pay this that you say I have to pay, but I can't get the job because you're keeping it on my record as a felony. And I was making money to pay it.
Okay.
The ignorant. Okay. But that's just our society. It's ass backwards all the time. Okay.
Okay, right.
That's the way it's set up. That's the way it's set up. It's hard to swallow, but that's the way they set it up. But I feel like if you did your time, after it's over, it should be over. And I don't understand how the government works that way.
Well, just like you said, they done put it into law now. So
right.
It's the laws that have to be changed.
Right.
And somebody has to really, respectfully go up in here and literally shake these damn lawmakers because, number one, they ain't been to these damn prisons or whatever. They have not done any kind of inspection of these damn places. They only know what Hollywood say it is because it's glamorized in such a way to where it looks like this only happens in the movies.
Right.
Okay.
Whatever.
And
with that.
And because of that, it brings about a disturbance, because we have a throwaway society here. My whole thing is, shit, if you really want to know the truth about it, those who are up there for life and have been convicted, child, get them to go fight the war.
I agree with that.
Stop trying to draft these children. Okay,
right.
They ain't doing nothing anyway.
Right.
Let them pay their society. You sit up there and put them out there, and you send them over there to Iraq for umpteen years. Let them be the ones. They're going to sit up in the jail anyway.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of interesting thing to say.
I've had opposition to that. Folks have, my opposition was like, how you going to sit up there and get these folks to do this, that, and the other, and you say, they killers anyway. You teach them how to shoot a gun. Who's to say they ain't going to kill nobody else? Child, please. The government know how to put a rein on these folks. Why the hell they ain't broke out of prison yet? Hello? They know what to do.
Two, though, if you give them that as an incentive, and when it's over, give them some type of rehabilitation and mental counseling, maybe after it's over, we can probably acclimate them back into the system and not keep them in prison forever. It costs more money to keep them people than it costs it costs just as much to keep them as it costs to electrocute them.
Exactly. Okay, right.
So we paying for them all the rest of their life anyway. If they can become productive, and that's something that can help them get there, and they can use those energies in a positive light or whatever, or for something to be productive for this country, why not?
Hello?
I never thought of that, but that's a good point. Why not?
You know where I get that from. Mama was the first one to say that to me. Anyway.
Okay. Well,
I got another caller coming in.
Never thought of it, never even crossed my mind, but that might be a good situation.
Child, please.
They already got this energy that they want to kill anyway. I let them.
Send them. I bet you they'll find Osama bin Laden.
They probably would have found him by now.
They'd have found his ass. They'd have killed his ass, especially if you're telling me my prison record would be exonerated. Shit. Right. Listen, I'm going to bring in another caller, 313-651. Come on in and join us. We're going to have a conference call right here. Hello, caller, darling.
Yes.
You're dishing tea? Hey.
Hey.
What's up?
Hey, listen.
Say hello to 989. 989, this is 313. Y'all know each other.
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, listen, I just wanted to say, I agree, that it sounds great in theory to put prisoners, into the military and send them over to fight the wars. But if you do that, the flaw in that is that, you say, they control them within the penal system, so they have a way. However, in the penal system, they're not given an M16 service rifle. They then become, instead of prisoners, they now become as pirates because at any time you're risking a mutiny.
Yeah, you got a point there too.
And now you're in some foreign country, where you're not bound by, where American citizens aren't bound by certain laws and guidelines that they're protected, or whatnot. They can't come over there and get you, So, what can you do? But keep them in the penal system. But I do agree that you have to provide some type of avenue for sexual release of tension for those prisoners. That I do agree with.
Well, yes, and like I said, even if the whole idea of it, because you were the one that turned me on to that program, 313. And when I was watching that, it just upset me at the fact that the guy was constantly being sent to the hole. Now, he was exposing himself. He didn't care, honey. He was in his cell, and that boy whipped out his dick when he felt like it and just went to do what he was going to do. And he got in trouble for that. Now, you in your cell, this is mine. If I want to wrap this bitch around a pole, honey, it's mine to do with. Okay? Mm-hmm. And you're telling me that it was indecent exposure. Well, when the hell am I supposed to do it? Because anytime you walk by, it's going to be indecent exposure if you walking by my cell looking at me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just floored me. It floored me. Listen, over here, light-skinned bear in the tea room, he says, I'm listening to what he just said, and he's asking too much from our fine government, laugh out loud. A government that can't look out for our children and their education, and you want them to send prisoners to war? Please. He said, Osama is working right here in Baltimore as a cab driver.
Oh.
Okay. He may very well be.
Oh, but he makes a good point here. He said, but look at what they used to do to Negro troops in the Civil War. It's no different. They put the blacks on the front lines for years, kill us first, then go to them. Okay, I like that. My whole thing is this, because, see, we as taxpayers, we got to pay for them damn fuckers up there.
Right.
We are paying to house them, feed them, clothe them, and in some instances, some of them motherfuckers are getting a better life than what we have out here on the outside, especially if they're in federal prison. Okay, the federal prison system has been called, the country club in some regards.
Well, this is what amazes me. This is what amazes me. Okay. You could be in jail and get a free degree.
Right.
But what's the point? You get out, you can't use it?
Wait. But no, it's not completely free, honey. Because we paid for that fucker.
I know.
That's us that done paid for it. And when they get outside, they can't use that damn thing. And then I got to jump through hoops to get a fucking loan. I can't get Pell Grants. I can't do nothing to go to school to further my education. But this fucker done just killed up and wiped out a motherfucking city. And he gets all the damn, and what?
And we can barely get a loan that we have to pay back.
Well,
right, that's the kick.
I have said that,
go ahead.
For that we really need to look at a lot of the laws and a lot of the mandates that are in place currently, because they don't meet the times. This isn't 1776 anymore.
Thank you.
Say that. You better say that. Now, so what you say? This ain't 1776.
Yeah.
Like said, hey, he said he called it Club Fed, honey. Light Skin Bear said it's Club Fed, honey. Okay, the federal penitentiary, Club Fed. Exactly. Okay. But see, now let's go to the very first question, since we on prisoners and education. What does that say about our educational system? When the kids, they closing the schools down here. Our children would get a better education if they went to jail. What the hell kind of message is that saying?
Right, exactly.
What kind of message is that saying? The kids could go to jail. They would get a better education behind bars that we pay for. Okay, that we pay for. And you want to know something? Here's the kick. And it ain't no excuse about it, because, see, if we sit up there, we've been paying our taxes and we see the money ain't going to the fucking schools. But if we sit up there and pay the taxes to pay for a goddamn prison to be built, we know damn well where the money is going. And they get their damn education up in there. Hell, they get jobs up in there. Now, we talking about slave labor and labor camps over there in Asia and shit, where they working at $2 an hour. Okay. Or whatever. These children are working for $2 a week in the prisons, making the damn this and making the that and this and that. Well, they become the new slave camps. Huh?
Right.
That sounds like slave labor to me.
Hello. So what are we saying? And I don't see, the thing of it is, a lot of folks may want to jump on this topic and be like, well, they have to pay their debt back to society and this, that, and the other, and we don't want to alienate them, and I mean, not alienate, we just don't want to come in and what am I saying? We don't want to ignore the fact that they're there because they committed a crime. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, we're
not ignoring that. The thing is that these fuckers want to sit up here and go through. When you look at the system itself, like I said, we are closing down schools. Detroit is making the teachers pay into a fucking program that is called the Termination Incentive Plan. Oh. Either you do this or you're going to be terminated, is what they damn saying. You've given us every teacher in the damn city of Detroit is giving us $10,000 into this pot.
Well,
or you're going to be fired.
I actually heard that California teachers also have been asked to contribute monies. However, they're not calling it that type of program, and they're basing it on a percentage, which I believe they're asking them to give up 20% of their pay. each.
Which
would probably
equates
be the
to their raise. Right.
Wow.
So it is. So you're telling me that all of this is okay, but yet the education that our children is receiving, we can't even get fucking books, pens, paper, okay, into the damn classrooms. But if Junebug sit up here and bash Miss Wilson over the damn head and get his ass locked up for 5 years,
right? Whatever.
He's asked to go up in there and get a fucking degree.
Right.
Okay, a degree. And then the slap in the face is, when he get back out on the outside, you tell this motherfucker he can't use it.
Right.
What sense does any of that make?
None at all.
What sense does that make? Okay, y'all better stop. Okay, okay, my blood pressure rising. Where my damn pressure pills? Okay. Child, I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that this country is that doofus and that stupid to think that that's okay. I refuse to believe that. And on top of it, you want to sit up here and then want to bitch, moan, and complain because the dope dealers on the outside are running the things, okay? The dope dealers and things, those who are on the outside end up making more. See, well, wait a minute, because I'm mixing up 2 points, and I want to make sure that I'm clear. Because I bitch, moan, and complain because the educational system itself, how do you compete with the dope dealer on the corner and those who making the fast money?
Right, exactly.
Because everybody who make the fast money ain't got no education, and everybody keep telling us you got to get your education to get the good jobs. You got to do this to get the good jobs. Well, the good jobs ain't paying shit.
Right.
The good jobs ain't paying a damn thing. How do you compete when the educational system lacks its luster, and yet I can make more money in a week than most motherfuckers make in a damn year?
Right. Exactly.
How do you compete with that?
Well, we were just talking about that this week, child.
Well, what you have to do, I believe what you have to do is de-glorify dope dealing. You know, today we see it in movies, we see it in television specials, we see it in posters, we see it everywhere we go. You know,
how can you glorify something when you got this rapper who came from the street, supposedly, who dressing in all this bling, and he's telling the children, this is how I got here.
Exactly.
And if you want to be like me, this is what you got to do. Because that's what they're all rapping about.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. We have to start putting bans and censorship on this stuff. You know, we just can't, our children are being bombarded and brainwashed.
Now listen. When they put the bans on it, see, what we got to remember is that rap shit started underground. You can ban it all you want to. They're going to sell it on the street.
Yes.
But here's the thing.
But when that was happening, our children weren't as exposed to it. I'm not saying that they didn't get exposure, but not as it is today. You know, it's a constant bombardment, you know, of this untrue knowledge, you know, this deceitful knowledge. You know,
I agree with that.
But see, here's the thing, though, because see now, it's developed, okay, and it's gone into a whole nother area. And what I mean is this: now going to prison has become a rite of passage. Now, you ain't hard and you ain't true to the set unless you done did some kind of time. And I'm not talking about no little slap on the wrist time. You have to have done at least 2-3 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In order to feel like you down for something. And hold on, I'm going to bring in one more. Come on, yeah, I like this little conference call thing right here because I want everybody in on this. 410 was finna get to come on up in here. 410, come on, baby. Say what's up. This your tea, sugar.
How y'all doing?
Hey.
All right.
We are lovely, honey. The T is, what's up with you?
Y'all are a trip. Y'all are a trip. You know, what's interesting, I'm so glad that you said that. It almost feels like going to prison is like a rite of passage, because if you haven't been through something that you can either put in a rap song or have something to brag about or a scar to talk about, it's like you're nothing. You're absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
You know, and the whole topic of education and imprisonment, all of this stuff is tied in together. It's all tied in together. These kids are born into the reality of going to prison is okay, because that's how you're going to make something of yourself. When you interview someone for a job and they tell you the different stuff that they've been through, and you look at their education and you're like, okay, you got this from the state of Maryland, you got that from the state of Maryland. What school did you go to? And you go to look and you see that they've been in a prison education program. Wow.
Okay.
Like if you've been, that's all that you know. That's all that.
Right.
That's the only place that you've been. But it's sad because we do put an emphasis on bad things, and I hate to call it bad things, Meech, but it's like, where is the positivity in being a drug dealer on the streets? Where is the positiveness in that? It's nowhere for it. And I understand the whole thing of censorship. It would be nice, but you know, when you censorship one thing, then you're gonna start.
You got to take it across the board. Exactly.
I agree with that. That is a flaw in that.
Right, but it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Either way you look at it. But we have definitely failed in the education system, big time.
Oh yeah,
big time, and it's spilling over into the next generations. I mean, there's no reason why these kids nowadays should want to go to jail to get an education. It's ridiculous.
No, this is how I knew that this country failed with the education system. I was in college, and child, they came out with this doggone statistical math, because you have to take it for nursing. And the African folk was doing it by just right. They were skipping steps. They was doing it by hand, no calculator. I'm like, I ain't never even seen this before. How the hell you doing that? My problem took up a whole page. They had to answer in two slots. I'm like, y'all need to show me this. Because how you doing that without a calculator? Do not skip a step. I can't get this. And I got straight A's in school.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. They've been knowing this since they were children.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying to learn this in college.
Mm-hmm.
And a straight A, as a straight A student in high school. Really? So that's how I knew that our educational system had failed. And then people come over here, got degrees already, and they make them go back to school. They know more than we do. Why are you making them go back? Get them a job.
Absolutely.
Got to take the same thing all over again.
I can remember being in high school, a senior in high school, and seeing kids from different exchange countries come over who should have been in the 9th grade, but these kids were so far advanced than us. They would put them in these what they call AP classes.
The AP,
where they were taking all of the higher graded, college preparatory classes, and looking at myself along with a whole bunch of other students struggling trying to get things, and it's like, wow, are we secondary to people that are coming in from other countries? Shouldn't we be the leaders of our country?
It looks that way.
These things?
But they fooled us all these years like America is the top rated. It's not.
It's all
these
about
people
money.
coming over here, and they know this stuff. Another thing I did not know, in Africa, they go to school for 13 years and take one final. So they got to remember everything they've learned since they started elementary, because it's all on that final for them to graduate.
Let me say this, and I have said this quite often. I said it to many people. The white man didn't bring anything that was trash from Africa.
Right.
Say that.
He didn't bring anything that was trash from Africa. We were brought here, and unfortunately, we have been suppressed by their government.
Right.
We've been unable to reach our full potential because we're governed by their educational system.
And
a lot of And a lot of this stuff is what the nation is trying to change. Is why they're trying to become their own separate entity, basically, to govern themselves.
Mm-hmm.
To improve themselves.
Okay.
See, they got themselves caught up.
Okay, I like that.
They got themselves caught up thinking they were going to bring us over here to be their slaves, and then they got intimidated because they saw that we actually had the right power. So now it's not like they can ship us back now.
No, they knew we had the right power. They just thought they could control it.
Of course, because they underestimated us.
Exactly.
Right.
The resilience of our people. And
we
thought
had
that by
everything they
shipping
needed.
this, exactly. And they, as with the native, see, the native, they thought they were going to do the same thing. When the native lied low and accepted being put on their reservations and carrying on, they just laid low.
Right.
When they brought us over here to now till the land or whatever, they thought that was going to be the same thing because it worked with the Native American. We said, fuck that, honey. We done been coming over here long before y'all have.
Right.
Okay? We know about this land and how to work this land. We showed them a few things, a couple of steps and tricks and stunts. So, no. Okay, we are a resilient people, and in order for us to reclaim our resiliency and our prowess, it's going to take an effort on everyone's part. But the catch-22 in it is we're so busy wanting to make the ghetto fabulous. Everything now is now about repping the hood because we see this as our only means. If we can take this and make it look good and make the bling bling and make it this, then it's supposed to be okay. When all we doing is just, we just putting patches on dry rot drywall.
Say that.
Okay. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You putting pretty on the mess. Okay.
Wait a minute, we can't even do that. When the catastrophe in Katrina, when I looked at the report on the doctors a few days ago when they were there, and the doctor said that they took lime material and mixed it in with the cement because they wanted to stretch it because they didn't have enough when they were building their homes. And he said it's so flimsy, it just breaks a piece. It breaks into pieces. And the ghetto that we know now is created on that same mess. It is so flimsy, it just cracks and all of that. And we're so busy wanting to make sure that it's fabulous and that we keeping it real and that, Boo Shikwa got her goddamn hair done and Ray got his 22s, because we're all about status. And status has always, I don't know where in the hell we get that from as far as that being important to us, but looking like we have status has always been a part of our downfall because we let the exterior define the interior, and the interior is fucking ridiculously wasted.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
it has no substance.
I think a part of that comes from slavery as well. Where you had the blacks that were in the house, that were running things and were in charge of other black slaves, and they were considered of a higher power. You listen to them just like you listen to Master.
Right.
Okay,
so that gave them stature.
Okay, so is that what it is? Is that what status comes from?
Light-skinned black versus black, dark-skinned black.
Oh my God.
You have that issue. Where you're closer to being, considered white because your skin is lighter. So, you have stature.
Right. Okay, hold on. Let me bring in 313-377. Come on up in. I think I know who this is.
Wow.
I think I know who this is. We finna go to get a female perspective, I believe. Come on up in here, darling. You're dishing tea with Big Meat. Hello, caller.
Good afternoon.
I know it. Yes, sister.
How are you all this afternoon?
Oh, honey, everything, honey. I am everything, and everything is me. Just your tea.
I hate that I got, in on the last end, but I've been listening thus far, and I will tell you that what I'm hearing, the core problem is with all of these issues is Hillary Clinton gave a statement some time ago, and it became, sort of like a platform. It takes a village to raise a child.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, if we think about things that have happened and what our young people have gone through, there has been a dissemination of family.
Right.
As you all know, I work in the criminal justice system. I won't say in what capacity. But as I interview people every day and I find out their family history, it's a lot different from when I think we grew up. I can say we're all probably in the same age group, whereas, the lady next door could say something to you. Everybody was addressed Miss, Mr. You didn't address adult as a first name. We've lost respect for people. We've lost respect for ourselves. And the problem is that the family is gone. The core family is gone. So if you don't have that start off from the beginning, that guidance, sure, we can say the schools is horrible, the drug dealer is glorified, but if you have strong parents at home, they know how to supplement what the educational system cannot give you. They know how to be the role model that you need at home that you don't need on the corner. They know how to provide guidance, help you when you fall, give you direction. When you have that, I don't care really what's going on in society. You have that backbone and you have that family, and I can honestly say that that's what has sustained me and even onto my children, because they're not, at my children's age, a lot of kids don't have great-grandparents still alive.
Exactly.
They don't have that. So they learn now how to respect older people, how to respect themselves, how to be young ladies, how to be young men. And I think we've lost that. We have younger parents, if you can't say anything to their children. If he said he didn't do it, he didn't do it. Well, how about maybe he lied?
Right.
But if you don't have that core family, I'm telling you, you're going to have problems all around, period.
Wow.
You're going to have problems.
That's why people look at our family and then they look at their family and they say, well, how come you guys are like this and we're not? How come there's so much love here? How come these children listen? Because the whole family is involved.
Right.
You don't get rewarded for seeds, honey. No. So you can take that on back. Right.
But my daughter said something to me about getting a C one time, and she said, "What's wrong with that?"
Wow.
And that was also a reflection on me. Did I let my daughter believe that being average is okay?
Is okay.
Is it something I didn't put in her to make her think, no, you have to be, average is not okay. It's not.
Right.
Because you have the potential. Now, if I know you have some disabilities and, I've been working with you and all that kind of stuff, but if I know you have the potential to be above average and you're just saying what's wrong with average, not that you can't be above average, but you're saying what's wrong with it. Well, as a parent, that's when you say, okay, let me tell you what's wrong with it.
Say it, girl.
Because you should always expect excellence from your children.
Always.
She done made me sat up in my chair. Like, I need to be
I say this to my son all the time. I say this to him, He feels that it's okay as long as he meets the criteria of the school, the expectations of the school. No. However, that's not okay. It's not their expectations that you have to meet. Yeah. It's mine.
Right. We are supposed to raise contributing members of society, positive contributing members to society. We're supposed to raise them to not be dependent, but at some point be independent. That's what you do as a parent. You cannot take care of your child throughout their life.
That's what.
That's it.
That's what.
And if they don't have the tools, if they don't have the tools, they end up in the prison system, like you said, where they're still dependent because somebody else there is taking care of them. The independence steps in, they get out and they don't learn the skills to become independent still. So you're going to have the same issues. Why should I come out here and survive and work this minimum wage job that I can't pay my high gas bill and I can't pay these bills when I could go to prison, I could get food, I could get cable, I could get educated, I could, I may make a few little friends. It may be rough.
And half the time your friends and family are already there.
You're right. That's really unfortunate.
Yep.
It's really unfortunate.
The parents, especially these black mothers, and I'm sorry to say, are teaching our young men that it's okay to be taken care of.
And a lot of times they're
So
not.
that's why these women working all hard, because you done taught your man, no, you supposed to get everything you want to get. That woman should buy it.
But also, let me take some of the blame off the men, because people can only do what you allow them to do to you.
Wow.
Now, as a woman, if you don't know that on your own, and you allow a man to be dependent on you, then that's on you. That's because they haven't learned, though. They haven't learned how women have lowered their standards, and men have too oftentimes, just because they don't want to be alone or they just want to be with somebody. No, you can't do that. You demand greatness for yourself. You demand that people treat you with respect, and you will get that. But as long as you lay yourself down like a welcome mat, and you let people walk over you before they enter the door, they will keep going all the way through the back door, and you will get tramped and walked all over on, because you have allowed that.
Right.
That's the truth, though. And I try to teach these young ladies that every day. Yeah, you a nurse, and that's a doctor. But you know what? Just because he got a higher degree than you, he is not your mother or your father. Do not allow them to talk to you like that. Okay, now you need to hold up. I'm here to do this job, and you're not going to yell at me. You're going to respect me, I'm going to respect you, and we'll work well together.
Right.
But they let them trample all over them. No, you're not doing that to me. Sorry.
They let them do that. They let their kids do that too. I've been in stores and I've seen, and I have to say something. My kids be like, "Ma, that's not your kid," but I have to say something. I cannot. How you gonna let your 7-year-old tell you what to do?
Right. Exactly.
Okay, let's see. You got me over here stuttering because, baby.
Okay. That's what I did. I was like, what?
Right.
Excuse me. You know. I'm so much like my mother. It's ridiculous because I just every time I get to that space, I know it's her, because I know what she didn't tolerate with me, and I don't tolerate that in anybody's children. I don't care if you are Queen Sheba's child from the firstborn. I don't care. If you're wrong, it is my duty to make sure that I'm part of this village, honey. No, I got at my job, honey, a woman got mad at me because I got her daughter. I said, no, she's playing on the escalator, honey. And she looked at me. I said, she's over here playing on the escalator. She needs to stay over here with you. Oh, well, thank you. What's your name? Demetrius. White woman. And I almost, baby, it took everything in me to remain professional, because I'm about ready to cuss her ass out. Bitch, wait a minute. You don't get an attitude with me because this little bastard is up here playing, and then she ain't got no shoes on. The escalator is all metal. If her foot get caught up in here, then you want to talk about suing us, and this little bitch is sitting up here running up. She running up the down escalator. Really?
Why you standing right there?
Yeah, over there, and she's sitting at the bar. The mama sitting at the bar.
Sitting at the bar.
Ain't that too much?
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. That's her role model. Remember that. That's her first. That's her first role model. That's the only person she sees and looked up to. So look at what she has as an example.
And let me rephrase that, because it wasn't the mother I was talking to. It was someone else. They were a part of a cheerleading group, and it was one of the other ladies. The girl sat next to her mama, and the mama didn't say nothing. The mama didn't say nothing. It was someone else speaking on behalf of the mother. And I said, oh, really? Okay. So, in all of that, and you said something earlier that tickled me, because with the our grandparents and the older Americans, okay, that older generation has gotten so much younger, and I said this on the show before. Anytime grandmama is 35,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the mama hanging out too still.
The mama is 20. Okay.
Right.
Or 25. Or wait a minute. Let's say 40. 40, 25, and then the 25-year-old, she got an 11, 12-year-old who's about to drop a baby.
Right.
Okay. And the mama, the grandmama, the 35-year-old, is competing with the goddamn 12, 13-year-old because she dating somebody who's 17, 18, 19, 20. And the grandmama got to beat her to the damn hair salon to get her ponytail snatched back.
Right.
Okay.
Because age is for beauty.
As you said, I love that the family, the core family structure is just completely adulterated and bastardized.
It's gone. It is gone.
It's gone.
I see it every day.
Okay,
it's so
we've
sad.
obliterated.
It's so sad. Because I remember what it was like growing up having that kind of family. It was a family next door, you know, on both sides. Everybody knew everybody. The kids could go out and play. And, I mean, it was just, wow. And you look around like that's gone.
Yep.
Well,
That's
you know,
gone. You don't have that.
I'm
No, we don't. We don't have that at all. And I'm like that to this day. I don't know none of my neighbors. I don't even know them by name. We speak when we see each other. I don't know these folks by name. And at the station I'm in, I don't want to know them because shit.
Right, you kind of scared now.
The party that we're in. You know.
You scared. You liable to give somebody your name, and next thing you know, they got your identity. They you.
Hello.
Oh, I like that name. Oh, I like that name. I think I'm going to use it for myself. I've been wanting a new credit card.
Okay.
So you're right. It's not only is I mean, you just can't do those things anymore. People aren't trustworthy, you know.
Right.
It's not safe to be as friendly as you used to be. You know, I used to try to give people change all the time, and sometimes I still do because I think about it. Okay, if I have it, I'll give it because he really could hit me over the head and take whatever he wants. But he asked me, so he's giving me a choice to say how much I can give him.
Girl, now you know.
So,
okay.
I appreciate
Go
that.
ahead on now, Reverend Evangelist. Girl, because you know you like me up. How to say it, girl. What you say? He gave me the choice because he could really bash me in my damn hand.
He could. He could have. He took whatever he wanted, but he asked me for change. If I have it sometime, I'll give it, you know. But you do get sick of that sometime. I'm like, I worked 2 jobs before with kids, and this grown man asking me for some money. But hey, you gotta, you know, you never know. You never know.
That has become the job. And I tell them, you know, I tell that to folks all the time, and they were hollering back at me, go get a job. I say, he is on his job.
Right.
I said, just because you told him no, honey, you don't know how many folks have told him yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like the comedian, he's passed now, but the comedian said he went to the gas station. It was cold. He said, man, can you help me out? I got a wife and several kids at home. But he said, well, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be at home with them. You out here, you didn't let them know about yourself.
Oh, okay.
So you want to be at home with him? Take care of him. Why you? Oh, it was funny, but you know we are in a sad state, and I'm telling you, until we get that family group together. But you know that's how we got over here in the first place, breaking up families, splitting up husbands, wives.
Okay.
And that has permeated because they knew that's how you can get people. You got to get the family, break up the family, and you got it. Remove the male, remove the head of the household.
Right.
You remove everything, just structurally damage everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Provide no guidance for these children.
I'm really
well, you know, the sad part about it is they started it, you know, and it's up to us to finish it, but we continue it. You know, we have the choice as men and women, fathers and mothers, to raise our children or not to raise our children. You know, and we have a lot of fathers who opt out.
Yeah.
You know, they plant the seed. They plant the seed, but then they move on to plant other seeds.
Not the Rolling Stone.
Instead of nourishing the seed that they've already planted, that's growing.
But you know what? I want to do a show on that, and thank you, because I want to talk to my brothers out there, particularly those who got this pimp hustler mentality going on, and think that it's okay to go knock up everything that they lay down with and have no responsibility in it. I need to actually have someone who's in that particular situation, who enjoys it and don't see nothing wrong with it, to explain it to me, because I need to hear it. I don't want to pass judgment on it. I want him to really explain it to me and then tell me how in the hell do you sit up there and say, oh, it ain't mine. Oh, well, hell, you should have did this, or you should have took precautions, and this, that, and other. Press pause. I'm down to 1 minute remaining. Those of you who are listening by computer, honey, this is going to cut off in about 60 seconds, and we're going to keep on talking, those of us who are on the phone. If you're listening by phone, you'll get everything. Come back and listen to everything in the archives. I thank you all for tuning in with Dishing Tea. Come on back next week. We're going to be talking about transgender issues, and we're going to talk to the director of Dreams Deferred, the Sakia Gunn Project, a 15-year-old lesbian who was killed by the hands of a man who she did not want his sexual advances, that he stabbed her. He's in prison now, so we're going to go through all that and talk about hate crimes and what that means in our society. So that's going to be next week. So we're going to keep on going. I thank you all for joining me today. Honey, like I said, don't push the red one, honey. Don't push the red one. And that's that. There is that. We're going to keep going. Come on back in the archives and pick it up. So now, I want to really deal with this particular issue at hand because it floors me. It floors me. But let me ask this: 313-377. Would you work it in the penal system? The whole idea that I posed earlier as far as the sexual ideas and the tension that goes on in the cells, and for the prisoners to be treated as if they're still criminals for doing all of these things, even if they're pleasuring themselves for that release. What do you think can be done that we can, so that they won't have to be penalized for it, because especially for those who are up there for life, they're in there for life, and sex and sexual advances happen to be something that is an everyday occurrence. It is a bodily function, same as going to the bathroom or whatever. So give me your take on that.
Well, it's not necessary for survival, and I think that's where the penal system sees this as a form of pleasure, and we'll agree that it's a pleasurable experience.
Okay.
Incarceration is considered to be a form of punishment. If you can enjoy all the pleasures of life incarcerated as well as outside, what kind of punishment do you have? Now, I understand what you're saying, because if somebody's there for life, I mean, that can be pretty frustrating. So the key is not to get caught. I mean, the bottom line is not to get caught. You know, they on a routine. They on a schedule. They know when count is. They know when officers come around. They know all of that. The key is, if that's something you feel like you have to do while you're there, don't get caught. The problem is that there's a lot of rape that still goes on. Which is more of an issue than even the I mean, because to be honest with you, I don't think a lot of people get punished for self-stimulation as opposed to the latter.
Right.
Because I don't think people get caught that often. And to be honest with you, if you're just by yourself and you're doing yourself, a lot of them really don't care.
Right.
They really don't. But I think the system says, okay, this is a pleasurable thing. It's not a necessity. You need food, water, you need to breathe, you need to sleep. You do not need to have sexual relief.
But see,
it may make you feel better. It may release some tension. But it is not necessary for survival.
And that's where I'm going with it, because I made the comparison earlier that with a sports coach and this, that, and the other. It's always been said, you know, before the big game, the coaches always tell the players, you know, not to have sex or whatever, because they want to keep them, you know, they want that aggression still there for the field, and then, you know, this, that, and the other. So when someone who's incarcerated, and that option for them to do this on their own time is taken away from them, and it becomes a penalty now if they're caught or whatever doing these things. Doesn't that create just all of this pent-up energy and just more aggression and more aggravation within the system, to where we have the more violent rapes and we have the more violent killings or whatever? How does the end justify the means? And I never thought of it that way, as far as it being an option of pleasure. That's a good point. And like I said, I want to understand it on all ends, because I'm just thinking, I know how I would feel as somebody who was free, honey, to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. you know, to then have someone say, "Oh hell no, you can't do this," you know, and then I happen to be a gay man, and I know I would be on the gay part of the damn cell block or whatever, and everybody over there play on my team, and I saw something I like. Child, what? You know?
Yeah. You just, like I said, you just can't get caught. The flip side of that is, this is the only part where it's a little discriminatory, because if you are married, you can have visitation from your spouse. Yeah. So you can have that. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where that came from. That's why some people get married while they're in prison. Why do you think these men meet women online and they get married, these women marry these men in prison? So they can have sex. And that way they can do it without having to be sneaky or secretive. They can do it with permission.
Out of here.
Well, tell me this. Do they have cameras set up in those rooms?
You know what? I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. Because, I mean, even though, now I'll tell you, the women that come in or men, whoever the spouse is, whatever, you have to consent to a search. And sometimes that can consist of body cavity searches. Because people bring in drugs and bring in all kinds of things. So I think once you get past that point, it may not be necessary to videotape unless you're an offender that has a violent history or something like that, and they may want to make sure you're not in there choking somebody or, you know, killing them. It's an invasion of privacy, sure, but it would be smart to keep an eye on somebody confined like that, depending on what the nature of their crime is. Now, if you have a serial rapist that happens to be married and his wife still want to come up and have sex with him, and she just risks wanting to be locked in a room with him or whatever, then that's on her to me. But I still think that the institution has an obligation to keep anybody who comes in safe. And if that means monitoring other people's activity, then that's what they have to do. But you go in as a willing person knowing that.
Right, which is part of the turn-on for those who are into exhibitionism and voyeurism and shit. See, that's a whole nother damn show. Wow.
Yeah, you got a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show right there, because there's so many opposing views. Like, how is it okay if a straight couple is married, that they can have consensual sex, but if you have a gay couple and you're in a state that does not recognize gay marriage, you cannot have consensual. You know, you can't have conjugal visits with your spouse because that state doesn't recognize you as a legal couple. So
well,
you get into
this ain't 1776. You know, we have to change things.
Yeah, I mean, I think slowly they're working to change some things, but you have so much opposition that it's going to take time. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
People are open to some things, but not to others. You know, okay, we could do this, but only to this limit, or only if it involves me. You know,
right,
but it's really funny how they're so opposed to some things, but it's okay for all these politicians to have all these extramarital affairs and have children within those affairs, but it's not okay if you're a gay couple, if you want to be married legally and commit to one person.
Right, hello.
So our standards are set to individual circumstances. You know, people want to be open to things that affect them, or when they become involved. But when it involves other people, oh no, we can't do that. We can't do that. Well, but when it comes to me, well, that was just that one time, or that was just this or that. Either you're going to be a moral person and say, stick by this, and this, or you not. You can't say it's morally okay for me to do what I do, but if for you, oh, no, that's immoral. No, you can't do that.
Right. It's got to be across the board. Exactly.
So, yeah, I've got to go.
Yes, honey,
I came out to my car.
Did you? Oh, girl, thank you.
I was in work, and I came out to my car because I am really a family advocate, and I believe that's the source of a lot of issues. So
well,
I had to come on
I thank you for dishing your tea with me, honey. You have just, Miss Evangelist over there, honey, pastor woman, gonna sit there set the soul on fire, girl. I'm about ready to backflip to heaven up in here. But
love you guys.
Love you, baby. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All righty then, children. That there is this edition of Dishing Tea. I do hope and pray that all of you get something out of this, honey, and that you continue the dialogue. I don't want this to just stop right here. I want it to continue. Take this to your set of friends, honey. Take it to the job, honey. Take it to the church. Take it to the street corners, honey. We've seen a number of them on their soapboxes out there. If they can sit up there with the Bible and scream what Jesus said and this, that, and other, this is something else that Jesus would do, honey, and that is rally for the families. Rally for those, honey, who are not being taken care of sufficiently. We have to make sure that this thing does the right thing. So on that, my darlings, I hope to see you guys next week and listen to you. If you love me, tell all your friends. If you hate me, tell all your enemies. But one thing is for certain, this thing will move the way it's supposed to, and that's forward. I thank you so much for taking your time and having your crumpets while you dish tea with Big Meats. Until next week, sugars, I thank you so much. Ciao.